Okie doke.
Yeah. All right. We're online on Facebook, Glocker Realty and Insurance. We're also online on YouTube, Glocker Realty and Insurance. I'm going to keep talking about that YouTube page because I want people to tune in and watch it. There's a lot of listing videos on there.
Right.
Past episodes of
There's a lot of stuff on there.
of the Castic Glocker.
Yep.
That's what. There's a lot of good videos.
There's
on
some
there.
media up there.
There's some content. I think that's the word.
Content's
you're
a
supposed
better
to say.
word. Yeah. Media's probably.
Right.
Thanks for correcting me.
No
on
problem.
Live.
On air. Sorry, bro.
Nah, that's all right.
So we're live. Don't have anybody watching yet, but
Oh, thank God.
at least we're live. There should be some people tuning in, hopefully, to this episode. If not,
Just keep drinking.
it'll be.
There you go.
We're just gonna talk and drink. It'll be recorded to those
all
two
to see.
platforms for posterity. I think that people do come back and watch because we see the numbers
know.
climbing after we post the shows.
Yeah, and if someone's scrolling past, it doesn't count.
No.
I think you have to
they
watch
have
for a
That's
certain
right.
amount of time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, people
And-
do that with ours as well.
You guys have a YouTube channel too. Right?
Yes.
What's the name of your
Who
YouTube
are these guys?
channel? Yeah.
We should introduce our
Introduce
guests. right?
yourselves. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
This is what we do because we've already
We
been,
already we
That's
do
right.
it every time,
we've already been talking for a half hour. So we're cool.
but we do it every time though.
We do.
Because we forget and we're like, oh, we need to tell everybody
Oh,
else
wait, the show did
who
start.
we're
Hold
talking
on.
to.
Introduce yourselves and then tell us where you can be found on social media.
You go first.
All right. Well, I'm Kendra Cook.
She's the director of the museum,
Oh.
by the way. I'm Autumn Jackson. I'm her assistant.
And we live in this building.
We live in this building. We can be found on YouTube at Boyertown Museum. Boyertown Museum of Historic Vehicles. We have an active Facebook page, Boyertown Museum, and we have a pretty active Instagram account, which you can find us at Boyertown Museum.
Trying to hype up the Insta. So.
Yeah, I mean,
Yes.
it's a great place for Instagram. I mean, pictures,
It
pictures,
is.
pictures
Yes.
everywhere.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
So we're sitting here in the floor
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
main museum.
Yes,
right?
we are.
Yep.
The
That's
gallery.
awesome. What's the address here so people can find you?
So we're at 85 South Walnut, right here in Boyertown, and we have a nice big parking lot that's right along 562 South here. If people in town remember the old Getty gas station at the corner, formerly before that the Mobil,
Yeah, it was.
way back when.
Yeah.
That's our nice large parking lot behind it. So park there, go caddy corner, and there's our entrance.
and you always have some cool historic cars in there. to
Yeah.
kinda-
Garage, yeah.
If you go by the garage and take a peek ski in the windows, you'll see some cool stuff in there too.
yeah.
Stuff
And
we're
you guys
working
actually use the garage too, right? Do
Mhm.
you work on cars over there?
Yeah, that's where we work on the stuff. We used to do that in here before we had the garage, but that's not really ideal for
No.
several
For
reasons.
many reasons.
Right.
So now we have that building, and that's really what we use it for.
Right on.
Yeah.
Now, getting back to social media, on your channel, you guys have a couple of different shows, series.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I watch them, and they're good
Thank
shows.
you.
Thank
They're
you.
highly entertaining.
Thank
they're
you.
informative.
Always
Thank you.
entertaining.
I
Thank you.
learn something every
Good.
time.
That's
you came
great.
to my neighborhood on one. You came to the
We
Light Foundry in Pottstown
We did. Yes.
on York and Walnut Street.
Yes.
And I actually learned something about
Ooh.
my own neighborhood on that.
Oh.
And apparently you know everything about the neighborhood.
I know a
So
lot
that's
about
really awesome.
that particular neighborhood. My knowledge level is very high, but I did learn something.
And
I
even
did.
though you still learn something.
I did.
Yeah.
See?
So what are the
Wow.
what are
Great.
the series that you have on YouTube?
So the one actually that you're talking about is a show that we do for Berks Community TV, and that's Wheels Along the Road, and that has been on. Oh no, wait, I talked about it on 2 series a little bit.
Okay.
But anyway, to continue that, yes, we have a monthly show on Berks Community TV, and it's called Wheels Along the Road, and that's been on the air for 20 some years, I think.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
forever.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
Now, now I'm thinking the one you're talking about specifically, that is something called Where Have You Been Lately?
That's it.
Yes. And that's kind of so my co-host there, Dan Olson, we find a unique place or an out of the way place to talk about that, if you're driving around and looking for something to do or like a unique business to patronize, that's kind of what we talk about then. And we try to find something with some historic value. So yeah, that episode we were looking at the Light Foundry condos, because Light was really involved in the early automobile industry in Pottstown
Okay.
to a degree that still befuddles us because
Yeah.
they just had their fingers in everything.
And a lot of
Yeah.
different stuff.
It's very confusing.
So when I
Yeah.
was a kid growing up, the Light Foundry, it was still a welding shop.
Mm-hmm.
And in fact, my brother had this bike that always was breaking, and my dad would take it around there and get him to weld it back together. And then I believe in the mid 80s, it became the condominiums that it
Okay.
is now.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
sounds right. The 80s. Yeah.
I think it was like 85, 86,
Yeah.
That
something
makes
like
sense.
this.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm all, that's what I
Beats
just
me.
said
Yeah.
in so many words. So you have Where Have You Been
That
Lately?
was one. Yeah. We do, and I do another one with Dan Olson called Motor Mouth, and that Dan kind of takes over that one where he finds something in the museum and we kind of do like a deep dive
Okay.
on it. So there's a car over here out of your line of vision that we talked about. We've talked about, you can't see it because it's way back there behind the big trolley. We talked about the gas station that we have on display here as
Okay.
well one time. So
And next to the gas station, you have the old Fagley's
Yep.
Diner,
Yes.
right?
mm-hmm.
That's what I'm going to go back and look at as soon as the show's over. When I get a
Awesome.
moment. That's what I want to come to see, and I've been negligent in getting here. Now that I'm here, I'm going to go take a look at that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So that show, you take deep dives into
Yep.
items that are on display in the museum.
Yep.
To kind of get people interested to come
Mhm.
in and take a closer look.
Well, and there's so much stuff about these cars and everything that we can't put on a sign. The sign would be,
Right.
or it'd be books. And
Yeah.
we can't do that. We got to condense. So we always come across other things or just things that are related. Actually, on one of those episodes, we talked about something called Southern Tread. And it was something he found while researching one of our cars. Because apparently, in the South, the tread was narrower on the cars than up here in the North. And
Okay.
you could get a modification for your car to extend your wheels depending on where you were.
Interesting.
So stuff like that we'll talk
Gotcha.
about. Yeah.
Odds and ends.
Yeah.
And then for a while, you had a show called Bumper to Bumper, right?
Yes, we did.
It's been on unplanned hiatus, but we're got to get back to that. That
Yes.
was her and I.
Yeah, we really enjoyed that.
We did. And that we covered really cool stuff.
Yeah, we
too.
did. All kinds of, again, odd things, just because, like Kendra said, there's so many offshoots you can go with vehicle history. I mean, geez, we talked about, one of my favorites that we talked about was when we addressed courting, cars and courting,
Oh yeah.
Okay.
and how the car helped people court.
Gotcha.
I think it still does today.
How
Doesn't
does it
it?
not? How
Yeah.
does it
Right?
not?
Yeah.
Yeah, like I'm not walking anywhere on the
Well, you could probably, if you were a guy that owned a car, you could get to girls that were further away.
Yes.
Like
Yes.
before, when you had
Hello.
the carriage,
Yeah,
But
you could only date your neighbors.
but even
Yeah.
that's
even
exactly
Yes.
what we talk
what
about.
if your neighbors were all ugly, dude?
but if they had a hot car, you might consider it, right?
Maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd
That's
give
what I'm
it
saying.
a shot. I'd
I
give
mean,
it a shot.
I don't know if I'm going in the same direction you're going, but I mean, today even, if someone has a nice car, they seem to be looked upon better by
Well,
the opposite sex usually.
Sure.
Definitely a status
Yeah.
symbol.
It's a status symbol,
Or,
which of
or
course,
that, or even
Mhm.
yeah, just saying, wow, that
Wow,
that,
you
that
don't have a
person looks,
DUI.
it brings that person, it brings that person up a level. And just, I mean, a cool car, you know what I mean?
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then, and if you want to impress your date, you might even borrow somebody's car just for that first date
Yes,
or something.
yes.
You know?
Yep.
Or you go into the prom and you get everybody gets a nice car for
Yes.
the prom,
Yes.
you know, the
Yep.
nicest car they can find.
Yep.
Absolutely.
So, yeah,
It was a neat episode because we talked about that, and we talked about like how prohibition and that time period, how that was how that what that had to do with cars and courting, because of course before the 20s it was like a very, you had to get approval a lot of times from your parents or whatever to court, or they had to be there, especially the Victorian era. So up until that time, basically you have, during the 20s, now this guy that you want to date has a car. Not only that, he can come pick you up in it, and you're going far away to a speakeasy
Yeah.
underground somewhere drinking alcohol. So it was just opened up a whole new world for mostly women, of course, to be able to just kind of get out there and meet someone like Matt said that's not from like down the road.
It's like
but
it's exotic, right?
Yes.
Literally it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it was really a freeing experience for these people, honestly, to be able to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure, it had to be.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Imagine, back in the day, right? You don't have a car. You might live in a rural area where there's no public transportation. There's no train or trolley.
Exactly.
So you're not getting out much.
No.
Yeah.
You're
No.
riding on the tandem bike.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And hopefully they fit on the back, because otherwise you're not going out tonight. But it really was a neat episode. But yes,
Yeah.
it's stuff like that we'd like to talk about. We talked about Ford's assembly line.
Bookmobiles.
Bookmobiles. All kinds of really neat stuff.
I remember the
And stuff.
bookmobile coming to school.
Hmm.
Yeah, the
Don't they s-
bookmobile
I think
came
they
to my
still
school.
do.
That was
Do
like a
they?
big deal. I think it's coming back around.
They're
I-
getting more popular,
Yeah.
I think.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. And even just the idea of like, we didn't touch on this as much, but even like the little libraries that you see all over the place,
Yeah.
like it's just more accessible. You walking, if you don't have access to public transportation, or your kid don't have a car, you walking to the library might not be practical. But hey, there's a little library 2 blocks away, and I can do that. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
And we talked about, what did we talk about on that episode? We talked about the book ladies. So
Yeah.
it was during the early 1900s. Basically, it started in Kentucky, and these women called themselves book ladies. And what they
Okay.
did was they literally strapped on like this leather backpack and got on a horse and took books to people in rural Kentucky that didn't have access to books, and sat there and read to them and taught them how to read.
Wow.
So it's like really like that
Kudos
was honestly
to the book ladies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the forerunner of the
bookmobile.
Now
yeah.
then the backpack started getting heavy, so let's get a carriage and throw the
Progress from
books
there.
into
Nice.
a carriage. and-
Pressed up.
yeah.
We,
Cool.
we built bookmobiles here at
We
the
did.
Auto Body Works, where we're
Okay.
sitting right now.
Really?
Yep.
So let me ask you something here too, because we've it's just interesting to hear you guys talk, because obviously you're the director, you're the assistant, and you're coming at this from the female perspective, right?
Yes.
And they obviously love what they do too.
They do.
Yeah.
But it's just, and I'm giving them credit. I'm
Mhm.
giving them props, and I think it's interesting that you're hearing more of this female perspective at this particular museum, which I don't think is bad, because there's probably not a lot of female museum directors, right? You always have the tendency to get history from the male perspective.
Yes.
It's just interesting to me that I'm noticing when we sit down and talk to these ladies, we get more of the female perspective. Just interesting.
Yeah.
Just an
Yeah.
observation.
Oh,
Agreed.
I
Agreed.
love that. That makes me so happy. Yeah, I mean, when we go to things,
I guess
we're
that's my
oftentimes-
question. Are you purposely making an effort to do that, or do you think it's just you're bringing that perspective because it's your perspective to the museum?
Hmm.
I think for me and the way my brain works, which is a scary topic,
Yeah.
but I think when I look at anything, I'm looking at this car, and for a car that's down this line, like, to me, my natural inclination is to say, okay, it was built what year? All right, what was going on here in the United States in that year? And I don't know, maybe that's like a holistic approach or something. But when you do that, then you get into like all these offshoots. And if you just take the time and research them, you find a lot of interesting things. And sometimes that takes you to things that previously were kind of sloughed to the side, like
Okay.
women or minorities, or just something that no one thought was important, But
I'm sure it helps that they're women. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you know,
Like it's natural that we
that
think that way.
because you're gonna say, like, you're gonna put yourself in that time, in that place,
Yeah.
and you're gonna put yourself as a female, of
Yeah.
course, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
think like women's history now I think it's exciting because we're living in a time where we're talking about it more,
Yeah.
which is really cool. So obviously, you know, we're trying to keep like up with that, so to speak, in the sense of like telling women, but everyone that's listening, about their own history and women's history. So I think, you know, that's part of it, that it's kind of a trend. That sounds bad, but it's a hot topic right now.
Right.
And the car and the bicycle have so much to do with women's history, actually, that we could really just go on about it for hours. I mean,
Sure.
they're very intertwined.
Right.
But yeah, I think naturally we would just go from that perspective.
yeah.
And it comes, I get to further kind of my point, I guess, to bolster my point. When I talk to you, it's natural. It doesn't seem like you're forcing that. You know what I mean? It's a very natural conversation. The information comes out naturally, and you're telling her story, right? Instead of
No.
his story,
Yeah, I like
her
that.
story.
But no, that's true.
But I give it,
Thank you.
it's coming across good.
Thank
I'm
you.
getting it loud and clear, and it just seems to me
Wait,
that
everyone.
To the dance.
There you
We did it.
so I guess really the answer to my question, what I'm hearing is it's somewhat purposeful, but then it's also just because it's who you are,
Yeah,
literally.
probably.
Yeah,
Well, for me at least.
Yeah, I agree totally 100%. That is what it is. And we just love researching things. I think that's really important to remember. Like, no matter if you're a man or a woman or whoever, if you're in this field that her and I work in, you like learning. You like reading. You fall down rabbit holes constantly. You read one sentence, you're like, oh man, look, like, let me go into this. And it just takes you there.
No.
And people are writing more documents on women's history and things now. Like I was saying, it's just something that people care about more.
More of it's being exposed.
More of it's being exposed.
Right.
Yes.
It's more accessible. I mean, the internet the internet for its faults also has done some really great things. I mean, there is just a wealth of documents out there from these time periods that before would have been very difficult for us to access. You know, they're not in Boyertown or even like Philadelphia,
Yeah.
but Detroit has them, and someone there digitized them, and now they're available for you to see. And that is really nice. I mean, to see all these periodicals and articles and photographs. You know, we use the Library of Congress site a lot because they did a lot of great work, especially back in the Depression, with collecting things about this kind of stuff. And you still dig and you still find, but you actually get rewarded, you know,
That's a good way to put it.
a little quicker. So that's also helpful too.
Cool.
But
Right
yeah,
on.
it's neat.
Now, I saw outside that you guys have won an award for the museum, like best museum or
yeah,
something.
You won
think
more than one
that
award.
was last. I think that was last year, and actually,
Come on, brag it up. I'm,
Well-
I'm opening the door for
Looking back
you.
at our signs. What
yeah, I know. In my field of vision, the previous years are up there. Yeah, we're really fortunate that the local population has voted us as an outstanding museum in the area for. Looks like the earliest year up there is 2013.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's really nice, and that's like heartwarming, I guess, to us, because I know that is something that when I started, I think this museum wasn't really quite all the way in with the local community, and we've really tried to change that and make this really be a part of Boyertown, and I think we've succeeded, and it's nice that people
I think so.
say thanks.
How do
Yeah.
you think, was there any organizations or anything there, and I'm kind of leading you, but was there any organization in town or organization that you specifically teamed up with in order to get a little bit deeper into the community? Is there anybody you want to give a shout out to?
I mean, if you want to say Jeff and Matt, you can.
Well,
you can.
you
That's
know.
what we're digging for.
The two gentlemen here sitting at the table.
Well, sure.
Well,
I wasn't going that direction, but
I
I'll
know.
take it if I can get it.
but I mean, you laugh, but that is true.
Yeah,
like,
it is.
Just talking to you guys and just other businesses in town and the people that work there, I mean, I think we're on a first name basis with a lot of people, and that is just so nice. And it's like, you think to yourself, oh, we need X. Who could help us with that? Oh, you know who? John Doe over here. We know him. Give him a call. I mean, that's been really nice.
And the community, I mean, Boyertown does do that often. I mean, they're always there to help.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
the one thing.
Yes.
We have been probably annoying the poor ladies over at Building in Boyertown a lot lately with questions, but they're so obliging and they help us, and they've been great.
I was kind of going for them, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the BBB's amazing.
They're
You
great.
do
Yeah.
a lot of stuff with Build a Better
Mhm.
Boyertown.
Yes.
They seem to be connecting different parts of the community
Mhm.
together.
Yeah.
And you have some great opportunities to connect
Yep.
here in Pots. Or, excuse me, Pottstown. I'm so Pottstown oriented. Anyway,
It's all right.
you have some
We'll let
great
it go this time.
Thank you. You have some great opportunities to connect here in Boyertown, especially when it comes to transportation, right? You have this great vehicle museum.
Mm-hmm.
You have the train.
Mm-hmm.
And those two things in combination, any one of those things would attract a lot of people
Right.
into town.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But now you have two of them.
Yeah.
Yes.
Less than what? 2 blocks away from each other, 2 or 3
And
blocks
I don't know.
away.
I'm sure you probably do it already, but you guys should definitely be playing off each other because I'm sure that it's like-minded people. I
Oh,
want to see
yes.
the historic
Yeah,
vehicles
for the
and
most
see
part,
the train.
If people like one, they would logically appreciate the other.
Absolutely, yeah.
So
Yeah.
and it's so nice to see all this stuff going on in town because, like you said, they come in for something that might not be related to you, but they're here and they're in town and they're already made some kind of investment of time and money, and you hope that they stay and see the other cool stuff that's here because there's a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, there's just a lot.
There's so much
There
history
is.
right
Yeah.
here in Boyertown.
It's nice to have a visitor come up to the counter when they're done here and say, well, what else can I do today? Or where should I go eat? Or, and you don't run out of
No,
things to
you-
tell them,
yeah, yeah.
That's really
Right.
nice.
That's good. So I think the other thing, too, that I want to try to make a segue into is because we're almost at halfway mark of the show, right? It flies
That's
by.
the story of our
Don't it?
life, isn't it all? Autumn and I are talkative.
It's good.
That's a good thing.
We don't
yeah.
talk to new people a lot.
It's a lot of it's a lot of
You
information.
let us out from under our rock. So, thank you. We've crawled out.
I think
Here we
that's the
are.
opposite of what I'm picking up on.
Yeah.
There's the snort again.
He remembers.
Jeff's out there shaking the bottle of wine, and I'm crawling out from under my rock here. Thank you.
The snort was on our best of loop.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yes.
There's
it
a
was.
best of. We gotta look
There's
for
a
this
best
stuff.
of loop.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Send
And
us
you
the
guys,
link. We'll share
Yeah,
it.
we'll share it.
you guys are on it. You made the cut.
Yeah, it was
Here's
a
what
fun
I'm
night.
getting
All right, round
into.
2. We're gonna try
So
again.
we talk about all the stuff generally in Boyertown that you could do: the museum, the railroad, the restaurants, the historical society. We talked about them, but we want to find out what you guys are doing coming
Really?
up.
I'm just
Yeah.
You can do that.
So I want to make
You
sure
gotta
we hit. I want to make sure we hit the highlights.
All right.
There's
And
a couple
also-
things coming up.
Yeah, there's a couple things. So let us know what's going on at the museum. What's coming up?
All right.
Well, you should start with the facade. I think you should address the
Oh,
facade.
yeah. So I guess when you guys walked in this evening, you probably noticed our sidewalks all torn
There's
up.
a little construction
Yeah.
going
It's a
on.
little bit. Yeah, so after so many years of planning, and we're just really excited to finally have our facade, in my opinion, match what's
That's right.
inside. Because, we know it was rough looking, and, my office
It
has a
was
window
historic
facing
looking.
it.
It had a patina.
Oh my
How
God.
about that?
The board members will love you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, it had a patina.
It had patina, all right. Yeah.
And it's so nice because, we get the comment, we don't know where you are. Oh, we thought that was abandoned. And that's like, I know.
Yeah, I know.
I will be honest, 100%.
Yeah.
That's right.
It was very hard to find.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
it's not. It's you're right.
It's
you're
huge.
right
It's
off
a
of Reading
huge
Avenue.
building. But
it's
yeah.
not.
Yes.
But yeah.
Yeah. So
Needed
finally,
happen.
we're
Good
going to
time.
spruce it up out there. We've really worked hard in here. I think about 4 years ago is when we did the floor, and then the COVID shutdown interrupted our ceiling project. And even before the floor, we redid the wiring in here because
Is the ceiling project complete?
We wanted, yes.
Okay, I was going to say, it looks good.
Yep.
Good.
So-
yes. That's complete.
So, we've really done a lot of work in here, and it was time to focus on out there, which is your first impression. As I'm sure you guys know, as working in realty, first impression is extremely important.
Yes.
Curb
Yeah.
appeal.
We
Yes.
had negative curb appeal out there. So it is looking so good. It's not completed yet, but if you're watching, come down and just like drive by. If you're not going to come in,
Yeah.
I mean, you really should come in, but just drive by and see. It's a huge difference, and we're just really excited. It's a long time coming.
Now, on the
It
one
really
side
is.
of your building, I noticed there are big, huge
The
doors. They
doors.
actually work?
No.
I didn't think so, but they look cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we had these big wood doors along our 3rd Street side. There were doors there before, wood doors, but they were painted white. They were rotting, at the bottom. Paint was peeling off. So we had those rebuilt to match what it would have been long
Cool.
ago, and they are gorgeous.
Gorgeous.
No,
Yeah,
they
they
look
are.
great.
They are.
Gorgeous. And
It does give it the feel of a factory.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
It does look old. It has that old look.
but it's
But new.
Not
it
rotting
looks
away.
new.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, it looks
exactly.
like a new factory.
Yeah. And actually, those doors, our lobby has 2 of those doors on the outside of it. So what that is, those were old like paint bays. That's why you have these
Oh,
long,
okay.
skinny rooms in the back. That's where
Okay.
the trucks were pulled in and painted. So
Cool.
Interesting.
yeah.
So you'll have the name up front, like at the entrance, I'm assuming?
Yes. So we had a sign on the building, and it was really high up, and now we took it down to put it over the door, and it's like, oh, that sign isn't as pretty when it's this much closer. So I think we're in the works for a new sign, but yes, there will be
Okay.
a new sign.
Cool.
And
Yeah.
Yeah, we're excited.
So
about
excited.
the
It's looking
outside.
good so
yeah.
far.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We're really
thank
excited
you.
about that.
So now that you're free to move about a little bit more, right? Hopefully, at least for the time being. What kind of programs and activities you got going on?
So I definitely want to touch on the blacksmithing.
Yes.
So
I want you to touch on that.
Okay,
too.
good. I will touch on it very briefly. So of course, during the pandemic, we had, we were not doing our live blacksmithing demonstrations, but we picked that back up. They're once a month, one Saturday a month, 10 to 2. And the blacksmithing takes place on one of, correct me if I'm wrong, 9 original forges.
I think 6. It's a reconstruction of
of one of our original forges.
And it's in this
Okay.
building here?
Yeah, so it's like that way and
Okay.
up. It takes place in our 1872 carriage factory,
Okay.
which is mostly all original. Looks a lot for the most part like it would have in 1872. And as Kendra said, it's one of our reconstructed forges. And we have multiple blacksmiths that come in one day a month, and they smith on that forge, which is kind of neat. So you don't get to see blacksmithing on what we would consider, yes, it's reconstructed, but an original forge.
Yeah.
From the carriage factory days, which is where we really all started in 1872. That's technically when we started our business, 1872, and went till 1990. So we're very proud of that.
Wow,
It's a
that's
long
cool.
run.
Yeah,
But
that's
yeah,
a real long run.
Really long run.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can come in one Saturday a month, see live blacksmithing on the forge. The blacksmiths are great. They're really
Yeah.
knowledgeable, friendly, great with kids.
And that's coming up this Saturday, right?
This Saturday
Yeah.
is the next. Yes.
Yeah.
I love that. Like
I love it,
I
too.
just have a personal interest in blacksmithing and forging and
It's
all of
awesome
that
to
stuff.
watch. It's
It-
really
it's
It is.
cool to
super
watch.
super
Yeah.
interesting.
And-
And it shows you that the more things change, the more they kind of stay the same, right?
Mm-hmm.
My middle son's a mechanic and a welder. Just got hired over at Heritage in Pottstown.
Oh,
they make
great.
limousines and hearses
That's
and
awesome.
ambulance bodies. They're getting into recreational vehicles.
Cool.
And he's a welder and a mechanic. And what he's doing, the technology's different, but at the heart of it, what he's doing isn't that much different than what they did in 1872.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's exactly right.
It's super cool. It's
Yes.
really neat. It's
And
a
people that
it's
are
a
into that.
direct link to the past.
It is. And when you see it, and especially like when we take kids around on tours, especially, I'm talking like, kids under 10. When I take them up there and I explain that, and I always say, does anyone know what blacksmithing is? And some of the kids don't, and then they say, well, I watch Forged in Fire on the history, which
Yeah,
I
there
love
you
that
go.
show. It's a freaking awesome show.
Yeah.
And I say that, and they're into it, and then I say, you can come in and see this live blacksmithing. They've never seen it. A lot of them don't even know what it is. So I really encourage like people that are watching to honestly bring their kids in for this blacksmithing.
Oh,
It's
my kids love it the times we've seen it. Yeah, I mean, how could you not love it?
Yes.
It's fire.
Yeah.
It's banging on metal. There's
Wow.
sparks
Yeah.
flying.
Flying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
awesome. Awesome.
It's great. And what's interesting is, you can imagine blacksmiths of that time, smithing a tool out of metal that they would have used to build the carriage up there. So you can watch the blacksmith smithing, and then you can turn around and look at our stagecoach and literally see what that piece would have been made for. Which
Right.
is,
Yeah.
of course, one of the stagecoaches or buggies carriages up there.
Cool.
So it's kind of neat. It really, our museum, you can see something from the start and you can see it till it's done, which I think is a unique part of our museum.
So
That's
I'm going to
awesome.
say again that we're in the museum today for the
Right.
people watching. So if you get a ticket here, do you get to see that as well?
It's included.
Yes.
Okay,
Yep.
it's all included.
Yep.
About when they're not blacksmithing, can you still go to that area of the museum?
Yes.
Yes.
Awesome.
It's open all the time. $10 is our admission. Kids 15 and under are free. That's really good.
Yeah.
So bring your kids in and see the blacksmithing. It's really wonderful. And yeah, you pay the admission, you get to see all of it. You get
And
to
we
see
did
everything.
that because we wanted people to not be intimidated. I mean, I have 3 kids. I know
Yep.
what some things cost. And then, of course, sometimes if your kid's not cooperating, you're there for like 20 minutes if you're lucky.
And then you paid $15 for what?
I know.
Yeah.
I paid a whole lot of money,
For 10 minutes.
for 20 minutes of people not tearing their hair out. So, we wanted it to be something where you could feel like it was a good, affordable activity for your family to do. So,
And a couple weeks ago, I did a blog on parks because I was saying, hey, we're all spending a lot of money this summer because everybody's finally able to
Out.
get out, whether it's dinner or whether it's vacations or whatever. So that brings me to, I was talking about parks. Parks are pretty much free, small emissions.
Sure.
This is another good idea to take the family to for a day.
Sure.
For sure. Like
Yeah.
if you want, summer's not over yet. You want to get out and do
Yeah.
something.
Yes.
We're
open 7
again,
days a week.
the kids will love it. The adults will love it. It's
Yeah.
it's great for the whole family.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
we think so too. Absolutely. Absolutely.
That was my commercial for the day.
Nice.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Nice little plug.
So I'm gonna plug up a whole bunch of stuff right now. This is the cast at Glocker. We're on every Wednesday at 6-ish. We just so happen to be on time today.
Yes, we were on time. Why did we not pat ourselves on the back like immediately
I don't know,
as soon
'cause
as
I
it
didn't
started?
want to jinx us. We're sitting down with the lovely ladies from Boyertown Museum of Historic Vehicles, which is on 85 South Walnut
Walnut.
Street in the lovely borough of Boyertown. You can find them on Facebook at Boyertown Museum. They have several, YouTube, Boyertown Museum. They have several different video series that you can watch on YouTube, and they can find,
Don't
you
forget
can
Instagram.
find them on Instagram
Yeah.
Yes.
and on Facebook.
Yes. We're pretty
Come
up to date.
down here.
He's excited about
Not
Instagram,
right now, though.
okay? Jeez.
I'm not.
Well, you said you're trying.
Instagram.
I love
Instagram.
Instagram. I love Instagram because I love pictures.
I haven't even delved into Instagram yet.
It's just pictures.
I need
all it
somebody to
is.
show me what to
There's
do.
video now too and stuff
But
like
you
that.
Yeah,
guys
but-
want people
We're
to
not there
check
yet.
out Instagram.
Yeah, we're not there yet either.
Pictures
You
are
want
cool
people
enough.
to check
Yes.
out Instagram.
Please
That's
do.
the new thing. Go
Yes.
over to their Instagram page, like it, share it, do whatever you do on Instagram. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. I do know that
Neither
it's a,
do we.
I do know that it's a picture-based platform, and they have
Yes.
tons of cool stuff to take pictures
Yeah.
of.
Yes.
So get involved one way or the other. Come on down here.
Yes.
And I think that
Yeah,
the
go
next
ahead.
big topic,
Yes.
Dorier
Jeff's
days.
excited. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, there you go. Let's cover that.
Well,
So it
September
didn't
4th.
happen last year.
No, it did not happen last
So we're
year.
all anxious now. I mean, it's
we,
a, it's a, it's
we
a,
know.
We know. Yeah, we know how excited
No,
everyone is. believe me.
we've actually gotten it. We do accept. It's our car and truck and motorcycle show, and we take pre-registrations. We do have day of show registration as well, but I will say our pre-registered vehicles is up.
where do you think
this
you're
year.
where do you think you're at right now?
Probably at about 130, I
Cool.
think.
That's a lot.
For pre-registered, yeah,
pre-registered.
that
Yeah.
is a lot. Now, the day of the show, if the weather's good, we've gotten, I think 680 something was
Was
the
a-
highest.
It's
Like,
a
if-
huge
Wow.
show.
It was even
Yeah.
closer to 700.
Yeah.
If you don't know about car shows, just saying, that's a lot of vehicles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you
a
like
lot.
car shows, you got to come to this one because we're not joking when we say 700 vehicles. Like, it was literally mind-blowing that year. And I think what's neat about our show is we don't care what you bring. You'll see early steam vehicles.
Okay.
So you can anything from early steam, or you can drive up your 1991 Honda Civic. We really
Sweet.
don't care. So I think that opens it up to a lot of different people, which is what I like about the show because
Yeah.
we take anything. It's not like, oh, you have to have a,
It must
an
be
old-
Antique plate or
30
something
years
like that.
Yeah.
old, and yeah, we don't care.
If you think your car's cool and you want to show it at a car show, register your vehicle and
Bring
bring it
it.
to Dirt
Yeah.
That's right.
Bring it.
Hot rods, street
Rat rods,
machines,
yeah.
things that are all stock and original.
Really cool motorcycles.
Yeah, trucks and like delivery trucks, but also like big rigs,
Max.
fire engines. So
Oh,
there's-
yeah? All that
yeah,
stuff.
there's
Oh my
a
God, it's
lot.
Cool.
incredible.
Nice.
Military.
So lay it on us.
Yeah,
When's Dorier Day?
So it is Saturday, September 4th, from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m., and we have it in Boyertown Community Park, which is a beautiful park.
Yes. Shaded.
Yeah,
That's
that
interesting to note.
that is a good thing because we have been to car shows where there is no shade.
Yeah,
and it is
there's
And it
usually
sucks.
not
It
any
sucks.
shade.
Yeah.
I went
Hot.
to one year. I went to the Eastwood Car Show
Yes.
in Pottstown.
Yeah, we've
and
gone.
They had it at the airport.
Mm-hmm.
Now, fortunately, it was a little overcast that day, but that's a prime example because
Mm-hmm.
they actually had the shows on the runway.
Macadam.
The cars
Right.
were pulled up onto the macadam runway
So the
at
heat's
the
just
airport.
Oh, it's
Baking
terrible.
off of there.
Yeah.
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 So give me that date one more time because I'm going to put it in the comments so that people can see it. It's Saturday,
September 4th.
at Boyertown Park.
Yep.
Pre-registration strongly encouraged this year, just so we can keep a handle with everything going on. But you can show up day of, like Kendra said. We know you guys watch the weather, and
Yeah.
don't want to come up.
Now,
if it's
I was
raining.
going to get aggressive. I don't know how to spell Dorier.
Here.
Lay
Ready?
that on me. D-U-R. All right, I almost had it. Dorier Day. All right, it's now in the comments.
Very good.
Jill Kendra Diffendorfer is saying hello. That also
Hello, Jill.
that reminds
Another
me to
Kendra.
remind you to put your questions and comments
Yes, absolutely.
into the live stream. We do monitor the questions and comments on both Facebook and YouTube. We do have somebody watching on YouTube, and I'm encouraging everybody to go subscribe to our YouTube channel, Glocker Realty and Insurance. There's a lot of good stuff to watch.
And I'm sure there's
there.
questions because these ladies are full of information.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
Probably
I have
not
a
about
question.
the right stuff.
Yeah.
Somebody's
I have
gotta
a question that I'm going to ask right now.
Go ahead.
Okay. So, but if someone asks on there, we'll definitely try to get to it. So, Dorier, who is it?
Oh, Lord have mercy.
I know his first name,
What is it?
Charles.
Oh, ding, ding, ding.
Matt has been watching our shows and videos. Okay, that proves it. Yes. I guess I'll start. Kendra can pick up, but it's named after a man named Charles Durier. And Charles and his brother Frank are known for manufacturing the first gasoline-powered automobile. What is the appropriate way to say
The
this?
first commercially available car, like a production car.
Like to be sold to like
That's a lot of
us
commas
sitting
there.
here.
No, I wasn't lying.
It
It's
is.
just a couple.
Well, the reason that we qualify it like that, and it's not just us. That's just the way he's considered by the historians, because there were so many people just like making cars in their backyard. like for themselves.
Okay.
Or tinkering and stuff. We have a car like that actually on display here at the museum that was built in Fleetwood, Pennsylvania. And he's earlier than Duryea, but
Yeah.
you know, he had no intention of selling or mass producing. Didn't file patents. So there's no way we can like definitively date that kind of stuff. Duryea, we have the record.
And what's
We
the,
have
what's the
the
date on
Records,
him?
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
Oh, 1890?
Him
Started-
and his brother built it 1892
And that's in America?
in Massachusetts.
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 Mhm.
Okay.
Then he moved to the brothers did not get
Charles.
along.
Mhm.
Yeah, Frank and Charles. Charles moved to Reading. That's where our story starts.
Oh, okay.
Because he built these vehicles in Reading, Pennsylvania. So.
And what year was that? Do we know?
Well, 96.
1900, he started in Reading.
Okay, see, I'm
Okay.
way off. This
He
is why
went
she's a
somewhere
drag-
else between
You were fine.
Massachusetts
4 years,
and
isn't it?
here, and then he came to Reading, and
He did a lot.
he did. He's an odd duck.
He's an yes, and he was like an inventor to like the core of inventing, and what I would consider like a progressive for his time. If you guys come in and see our collection of Duryeas, which is one of the biggest in the country, just saying.
Right here in Boyertown.
Right here in
Right here in
Boyertown.
Boyertown.
You're gonna see like a tiller, for instance, which is not a steer. He didn't like steering wheels. Again, he was an odd guy.
Yeah,
So he
tiller.
did the
So you
tiller.
had-
So it's like a
Like a boat.
It's literally
Oh,
like a.
yeah.
It's just
a
a thick
lever.
stick.
It looks like a lever that
Yes.
you turn left or right.
It does like everything. Again, good idea behind it. He had a lot of good ideas, but some of his things just didn't take off. He wasn't really doing what the people wanted. He was a little behind in the times. If you guys come in, you'll see his older vehicles are looking still like carriages, where the vehicles of that time are starting to look like what we would consider like a vehicle.
Right.
So he's kind of, a little behind there, but it's named after Charles Duryea Hill Climb. When you could
Duryea
probably-
Drive?
You could
Duryea
Duryea Drive.
Drive.
You can probably talk more on that about why that is which is really cool.
Duryea Drive is named for him because that was his test track.
To go up that hill?
Like
Yeah.
every car,
I knew that.
literally.
Which
That's
if-
pretty
I did know
cool.
that.
If the viewers have gone up Duryea Drive, they know, it's steep, it's hairpin turns.
Takes you to the pagoda.
Yes.
Yep.
Yep. And to do that in one of these interesting contraptions that he was building is.
It's pretty crazy.
Woo,
Yeah.
I think so. And actually, what's also interesting about him is he had his daughter Rhea
Yes.
as his main test driver.
His daughter.
And there's a
In
picture.
1900.
There's some more women's
That's right.
history.
There's a
right
photo
there.
go.
of her on one of our signs with her big
So-
hat,
So
and
you
her
could
fur.
kind of say that she was the first test driver
She
of
was-
commercially produced
She was one of the
vehicles.
first, for sure.
Definitely.
I would be actually. I think I would be more scared going downhill than
I-
going
yes,
uphill.
Oh
I
my
agree.
God, are you kidding me? Absolutely.
Well,
Without
and what's-
modern brakes.
Yeah.
Anti-lock
Yeah.
brakes. It
Yeah.
was probably just some like you pulled on a lever on an old wagon wheel.
Just
Is-
stick
yeah.
your-
Remember
stick
your
foot
ghost
out.
door
Yeah, stick
brake?
your foot
Hats
out,
flying
yeah.
off, the furs flying behind her.
That's literally probably what it looked
Yeah.
like. Yeah. And she writes letters. It's interesting, like about drive. She was young. I mean, she was like, I don't know, like under 25, I'll say, young woman. And she was driving around Reading in the early 1900s in her dad's vehicles, which she says she never drove the same one twice because he was produced many
Cranking 'em
different models of a vehicle. And she loved it. She said all the schoolboys were like pissed. Because like they didn't even they couldn't even dream of owning a vehicle. She's driving
A new
these
one
vehicles
every
around.
day.
New one every day, and she loved it. And I'd like to giggle at that because I think that was probably pretty cool to
Yeah.
like, be like, hey,
Absolutely.
and she's like driving these vehicles around Reading. But like picture that, 1900, a woman, big
Yeah.
flowing hat,
Yeah.
literally
Yes.
driving a car around the town.
Not many cars.
It was important to him. Women,
She
the
probably
women's
couldn't
movement
even
was
vote.
important.
Think about
No.
that.
No,
That's right, that's
probably.
what I'm saying.
She
That's what I'm
could.
saying.
Couldn't vote.
Yes, she couldn't vote, but she could drive a car because
Yeah.
that was important to him. He was a women's advocate, and he loved the fact that it was easy to drive for anybody.
Cool. Yeah.
So it's kind of cool. He's a neat guy.
So, wait a minute. So the Model T, the Ford Model T, kind of made the car accessible to everybody, right? Like, not everybody, but more people.
Democratized the car.
That's a good way to
sorta.
put it.
So
Yeah.
what like when did the car manufacturing start in America?
I think really, I think within very quickly of the Duryeas debuting their car, it was on.
That's when it was
Yeah,
on.
It was on.
Yeah.
And they entered a race, the first kind of official race in the United States.
Times Herald?
In the Chicago area. Yeah, and it was the day after Thanksgiving, and it dumped, this huge snowstorm just dumped on Chicago the night before. And I believe the Duryea won.
It did?
He did.
Yes.
Because-
I get
yeah.
confused because there's another race
London to
similar-
Brighton, wasn't it?
There's another one that was big and like Ford got
Oh, that's right.
disqualified. That was a different one.
Yeah.
There's too much info in my head.
Yeah.
I can't keep it straight. If it was Star Trek, I'd keep it straight. Anyway, but
That's another installment.
yeah,
Star
have me
Trek.
back. But that race was so important for Duryea and for the American car industry because he won, and he won against European cars, and they were so far ahead of us technologically. The fact that A, the American car didn't just crap out
That's
before
right.
the end, and B, it won.
Yeah.
That's right.
That was huge. And I think it was almost like a self-esteem boost for everybody, the manufacturers. But then I also think for maybe like people here at home, it was like, oh, this is actually like a feasible thing. Like,
Yes.
this isn't like a pie in the sky idea.
Yes.
But there were car manufacturers everywhere. And that's one of the things that I think makes this place so special, is because we have those oddball ones that were there at the beginning and we don't hear about anymore, but they're here. And you're not going to see examples
No.
of these anywhere else.
no, you're
And
just
they're,
not.
They're here.
And they're
I mean-
Pennsylvania oddballs. So I
Yeah.
think that's what makes it even neater. It's like, okay, cool. Like, again, with Detroit, it's like, maybe because I work here, it's like, okay, I'm sick of hearing about Detroit. We're in the hub. These are the cool vehicles. These are the one-offs, as they call them. We have one here. It's a Misano. It was built for a guy. Just one car built for one guy. Never built again, never anything like that. Just a car built for a guy because he was rich and he had money. We have that vehicle. We have a Sears. We have a vehicle that came off the railroad. You got it in crates and you put it together and
put
you
it
ordered it
together
out
in
of the
your
Sears Roebuck
backyard.
catalog.
Yeah.
I mean, we just
Sears,
have,
you could build anything from
Any
Sears.
house.
Houses,
They had
everything.
houses.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
you can put it together.
Yeah.
I would have just been homeless because I can't put anything together. But
I'd be living in the crate that it
I'd
came
be
in.
living in the
Yeah.
crate on the railroad. Yes.
Well, that's the original crate car. Like
Yeah.
they talk about crate engines and crate transmissions.
That's right,
That
yeah.
was a crate car.
And there's still kit cars today.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
So where are
So,
we at, man? I think
we're
coming
there,
down
yeah.
to the time in the show where we find out.
I mean, we
what's
could talk
going
to these
down in
ladies.
Boyertown.
For much longer.
A lot.
I'm sure
longer.
we're
Doing the dance.
We're
Someone-
trying
I did
to
it
turn
last
the
night.
lights
I
on.
thought- Yeah.
I moved this way one time.
I don't
and
know,
the lights
it's-
came on.
Actually,
Can I had to,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
go ahead.
I want to say real quick because we wanted to talk about this before. This already happened. This event already
Yeah, we do
happened.
want to talk. I know what she's gonna say.
But
yeah.
I think we want to try it again next summer. We had in July an electric vehicle show in our parking lot. It was super amazing and cool, and I think went about 300 times better than we thought it was going to go.
Yep.
We took out one of our old electrics from 1919 because they, yes, did have electric cars back from the beginning. There's one maybe
one
you
saw
can
that.
see in your view as you're looking down the
Yes,
line
the
there.
big- the
that
big thing down
big
there.
gray
The
monster.
big truck. Yeah.
Yep. We took out our 1919 electric. We had a very generous friend of the museum lend us his 1933 gas electric hybrid
This
Wow.
thing is so
Hybrid
freaking
Wow.
from
Yeah.
the 30s. And then
That's some technology right
I
there.
know it was
Awesome.
crazy. And then we had electric vehicle racing.
Yes.
The Entropy Racing group from Schuylkill County, not far. They
Yes.
came with their electric race cars.
And the rabbit.
Electric Rabbit?
And the rabbit.
That was my first car. Was the Rabbit. Not electric though.
yeah.
Well, did you know that rabbits were built in Pennsylvania for a short period
I
of
did
time?
Yeah,
not
they
know
were.
that.
How about?
Out in
Did you know
Somerset.
that?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, you know too much. You're like,
My friend
I
Mark.
already know what I'm gonna say. I'm just
No, my friend Mark. They built a Fox out there too. They built a Volkswagen Fox out
What
there.
part? What part of Pennsylvania?
Westmoreland.
Westmoreland County. I was going to
I
say
didn't know that,
Somerset, but
though.
it was Newlands out
Huh.
there. My buddy Mark, guy I go hunting and fishing with, who's also a historian. He's retired from the National Park Service. He worked there on their line
Oh, cool.
Oh,
when he
cool.
was a kid. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's how I know that.
So before she gets to the cool part about it, go on our YouTube page.
Yeah.
There is a series called Up on Blocks, which is done by one of our board members. He has an episode about that plant, the Volkswagen
It is
plant,
awesome.
and
Oh, cool.
the history of it and what they
I
did
will definitely
there.
check that out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Up on
so
blocks.
why would we have a Volkswagen Rabbit in an electric vehicle show?
Because, so in Westmoreland, PA, as Matt already knew, and blew up my spot.
Mr. Mr. Know-it-all
But
over here.
I know, seriously. I don't
I'm
know
a
anything.
history geek.
You are a history
But I
kid,
love
yes.
that. That's
Yeah.
awesome. So Volkswagen Rabbits were built in Pennsylvania, and what happened was a group that I don't remember the name of. I
think
cannot
it's
remember that.
South Coast Technology.
That makes sense.
Or Suncoast.
It's Suncoast. I keep thinking Suncoast, like
That
the
just
movie
makes me think
rental
of the video
place when
store.
we were young. Yeah.
I think it's South Coast.
They basically sent a bunch here to our Botronic division because we had a division, electric division here at Boyertown Auto Body Works called the Botronic division. And they sent us these rabbits to convert from gasoline to electric. And that's
Right here.
Right
Right
here
here.
where we're sitting. So
Cool.
the reason behind this, like when Kendra and I started thinking about this event, and what we think of when we do a lot of events is getting new people in here and younger people. And I'll be honest, and I'm sure Kendra would agree, when we were growing up, you had a Honda, you had a Volkswagen. I think every guy I dated had a VW. Like everyone had
Did you
Volkswagens.
date me?
What?
Did you date me? No, I'm just kidding.
Let's go back to
still
That's
drive-
another
I still drive-
installment.
I still drive
next
Volkswagen.
week
But
on
they're
the
great
cast.
cars.
Yeah.
They're great cars.
Yeah.
And that was like kind of a big deal for like our age group. I mean, honestly, that was just a big trend. And we thought, why not try and get those type of people into the museum? And a lot of them probably might not know that, Volkswagens were built in PA, but not only that, we converted them. So I think that's the really special part.
Pretty cool.
Is that they were converted
Really cool.
here to electric.
I didn't know that. See, so you did teach
I
me
got
And
you.
they
something.
were now. It's funny because one of our board members, and he spoke at the event. He was the engineering manager for that division, so he was in charge of this project kind of here on site. And he told us, what they did with them all.
I loved that.
And one of the cool things too is they did the conversion here, and then this I didn't know till he came in and sent us that thing. They drove them to a barn in Gilbertsville that this South Coast Technology had leased for this project specifically, and that's where they did like the fine tuning. And then they drove them back here and then shipped them out.
Nice.
So we're spanning the two towns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll cross Route 100 and
Yeah.
we'll span the two towns.
It's
together
really neat.
with it.
Yeah.
And it just shows how much history is here in Boyertown, in this building, in the Body Works that people just don't know about. I mean, when I found that out, I was like totally blown away by it. I thought that was just the neatest,
Yeah, that's really
unexpected
cool.
thing.
I had no idea about that.
It was
at
a neat
all.
event.
Of all the cars that we took out there, and then there were probably 25 to 30 Teslas, Nissan
Mustang-y.
Leafs, Mustang Mach-E's. That Rabbit maybe got the most attention.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
It did. It's
Which
a
is
lovely
crazy,
80s
but-
brown,
Oh yes.
like they
Yeah.
do.
Well, it's like but
Like
it's
they do.
the cream,
my God.
the like golden harvest and the brown. It's got like
the Golden Harvest.
Yes, exactly. It's gorgeous.
It's a great car.
and all
It's
its
awesome.
I love how they
1981
know
glory.
the color palette.
Yeah. The Golden Harvest, I believe, is what I had.
Is it really?
Use yellow Golden
Seriously, though,
Harvest.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
I
was.
do
Mine was
remember-
bright yellow.
I remember
Is
it.
that Golden Harvest
Oh.
bright yellow?
I do remember
It was
your
pretty
Like
bright.
that
dude.
mustardy yellow.
No, mine was yellow.
Yellow.
Oh,
I
okay.
remember that car.
Oh, neat.
It could
Yeah.
have been painted, but I don't think it
That's
was
neat,
though. I
though.
don't think it was.
What
Yeah.
year was it?
81,
Yeah.
Dang,
Yeah,
that's
that's
cool.
what we have.
Yeah, that was
And it-
ours in 81.
and it had a sunroof.
Hello.
That's the crank right
Yeah.
there.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Leather seating.
Of
Oh
course.
yeah.
Yeah, it was a
Decked
hot
out,
rod. It was a
decked
hot
out.
rod. It
Yeah.
was a hot
Smells
rod.
great on a 100-degree day, that's for sure.
So that's awesome. So that's the local link to electric vehicles.
Yes.
And you guys have an electric vehicle charging station here.
Yes. So we have chargers for Tesla vehicles, but we also have chargers for your everyday electric vehicle as well. So they're on the side of our warehouse building. When let's say you're standing in front of the museum facing outward, you can see them right to your left. And we welcome visitors and members to charge their electric vehicle whenever they need a charge.
And will you swipe a credit card, or how does it work?
No, it's on us.
What?
Come up and charge.
I'm buying a Tesla tomorrow.
We're feeling
now.
generous
Drive
right
just
now.
to get the free
Yeah.
electric.
Drive your Tesla to Boyertown, take a tour,
Yes.
walk around
Yes.
town, charge up your car.
Yeah.
Yes. Hello.
Come on.
It's a wonderful day.
It's a wonderful day.
And then you
Yeah.
can rate our charging station because that's a thing apparently.
Oh, really?
Yes.
So yeah, go in
There's
there and give
ratings
us
for
a
this?
5-star review for
Rate
our
us
Tesla
high.
charger.
How are you rated
when you're getting
so
a
far?
free
High.
electric charge,
Are you?
can you even rate it less than a 5?
I mean, seriously.
Right, that's right.
Right.
This thing didn't
Or
work.
maybe
I
it
don't know what-
Maybe it rates on speed and efficiency
I know, but
of
still.
the charging.
yeah.
That's true. It could.
Still.
I mean, they tell
It's free.
I've talked to a few of them that have driven like a distance. You know, they're not like locals. They drove here and charged. And then they say like, you know, we do look for stuff to do while
Yeah.
our car is charging. So,
Yeah.
I
mean,
mean, this is
there's
so
nothing better to
convenient.
do,
Walk
right?
across the
Yeah.
street and see the car's
is great.
grandparents sitting in here.
Matthew Lozano.
Loizo. He's one of our treasured
Matthew
volunteers. Yes.
Loizo is encouraging people to drive their Teslas to Dorier Day.
Yes.
Sure.
Register your Tesla
Sure,
for
why not?
Dorier Day.
Everybody
right?
wants to
Yes.
look at a Tesla.
You may do that.
I don't want to take too much time away from you, but I do want to say this. They're drag racing Teslas down at Maple Grove.
Are they really?
Yeah. So these guys reprogram their Teslas.
Yeah, I mean, that's
and they
pretty
take-
crazy,
They
'cause-
take the regulators off of them. They're dusting everything.
Of course.
My son Pat went down there and said these tests, you can't touch them.
So I
Because
would
it's
assume.
instant. It's
instant.
Yeah.
instantaneous
Well, I believe that,
power.
So
yeah.
I'm assuming.
Yeah.
I'm assuming what's going to rank you better in your Tesla is you're going to have to reinforce things, because I mean, like you said, there's no middle ground. It doesn't power up.
Right,
It goes
right.
boom.
Boom.
Yeah.
So you have to have the body has to have the strength to be able to withstand that,
That
jolt.
Yeah.
acceleration.
Shuddering.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
For real.
He
Yeah.
went down there and he was like, "Dad, it's amazing.
they'll wipe
These Teslas are
everything.
wiping
Sure.
everything off the map." Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's neat what they're doing.
I mean, that makes sense because, like, when we talk about the Batronic division here of the Body Works, they were trying to build delivery bodies or delivery trucks and buses that were electric. That was their goal. And in theory, that makes a lot of sense because when you're not when you're idling, you don't expel energy in an
Right,
electric.
That's right.
in an electric.
And those are two vehicles that idle
lot.
all the time. So,
Yeah.
and then it makes sense. And it doesn't, for you to, when you're in a gas car and you're stopped and you let off the gas pedal and it go on the gas pedal to accelerate, you're spending a lot of energy to go from
Yes.
0 to nothing. And these electrics aren't doing that. So in theory, it made sense. I think that in the time period that they were doing this here, which started in '67, you know, the like battery technology and stuff just wasn't there yet. It has gotten better, and the infrastructure too. I mean,
Well,
how do you
and
get charged
I think
of
the
something
electric
back
part, the environmental part of it. You know, back in the day, for lack of a better word, but all the way back to the beginning, but also when the Batronic division was going on, the environmental push wasn't there like it is today. First of all, if we go way back to 1910, let's just say, nobody even knew. But even as we progressed there in time, people didn't appreciate or have the knowledge to know how much it was like hurting our environment. So I think today it helps these electrics because people have that, they're environmentally conscious, which at that time we just weren't. So I think that's also helping the electrics today
Yeah.
propel forward. See what I did?
Nice.
we saw it.
Did
We-
see what you did
Okay.
there.
We
That's kinda
heard it.
nice. You're smart.
So are you,
Thank
mister.
you.
I know everything already.
All right, Jeff.
All right.
Let's get the snort, man. Let's get into
What's going down in Boyertown?
What's going down in Boyertown?
All right. That's
I'd
my
like to know.
Besides us sitting here geeking out on history and cars.
that is my event blog at jeffknowsboyertown.com.
Oh, I thought it was sitting here geeking out
No,
on
no,
history and cars.
It's like, ooh, a new
What's
Glocker
going down
guy.
in Boyertown? Event blog every Thursday it comes out. I put it out, and I show all the events that I can find that are happening in Boyertown and around the Boyertown area. We talked about some events already that the museum is putting on. But I write up about something, and I'm going back to the rail bike today. I already wrote up about it before when they first introduced it, which was March. I mean, I think their first ride was May of this year.
Yeah, it was in the
sounds
spring.
right.
And
for
it
sure.
blew up. I mean, it was just like the demand it was crazy. They couldn't keep up with the demand. It was selling out like quicker than months in advance.
They actually
Crazy.
got more rail bikes.
They got
and
more
built
rail-
more rail bikes to keep up with the demand.
And they're
Good.
basically slowed down for right now. They slowed down the trail. I mean the train
the
excursions.
train schedule's been
Yeah.
changed for the bikes.
for the bikes. Yep.
Good. Wow.
Because there was such a demand. So I'm just going back to that original article and just kind of giving an update. They do have they opened up a lot more slots and they have got more bikes. So now each weekend you should be able to get on a rail bike.
Wow.
Hopefully.
It is neat.
They do still
Very
sell
cool.
out each weekend, but they're not
Wow.
at least months in advance anymore. So until October 1st, they're like doing a lot of concentrating on the rail bike. So I
Nice.
just talked about that. As for the events, I pulled out a couple events here. There's a lot going on this week and this weekend, but I pulled out a few that were kind of interesting. First of all, I like to always talk about the State Theater because I love the State Theater.
Oh, we love the
Yeah.
State Theater
Yeah,
too.
it's such a
Yep.
great place.
It is really neat.
Talk about history. I mean, there's another great
Oh, yeah.
historical spot in Boyertown. But they have Free Guy starting this Friday. And do you guys know what Free Guy is?
All I know is Ryan Reynolds is in it. That's all I care about. So
That's the same thing my
I was
wife
gonna
cares
say, all I
about.
know is
Saying.
Deadpool's in it,
don't
and
care
I'm all right with
what
that.
it's about, but I will be seeing it. Yes.
It's cool because it's about a bank teller who discovers it's actually in the background of a video game, basically.
Okay.
That is neat.
And
That's,
kind of takes
Ah.
over.
have you
And
seen
that's
the
all
preview?
I can tell you.
No.
It does look cool.
No, I
It
haven't.
looks pretty
does
cool.
Look cool.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's pretty
so
cool. It's
I
a great
get it.
idea.
Free guy.
Free
It's
Guy.
an arcade reference. A
Yeah.
free guy.
Yeah.
He got a free guy.
Oh, yeah. I didn't even get that
Damn
either.
you.
He knows everything.
Up,
That's
up, down,
awesome, though.
down,
I didn't-
left, right, A, B, B,
I
A,
think
start.
of that.
Free
And
guy.
we should have
Nice.
known that.
You
okay.
should have known that.
Believe me, we should have known that.
Free
Yeah.
guy.
Wow,
I
that's
get it.
awesome.
So that's this Friday, starting at the State Theater. Go check it out. Also, Washington Grill and Pub in Bechtelsville has line dancing. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not a line dancing kind of guy,
Never
but
a line dance in my life.
I
But I would
think it's
try it.
interesting.
That's right. It is interesting.
I
I,
would
agree.
try it.
Yeah.
I would not try it because I know I'd look like a fool, and
I'd go
Well,
watch it.
I know
I would
it
go
looks like
watch
a
it.
fool, but
That's-
I don't care.
Yeah.
I would go watch it.
Yeah. Go have a drink and watch it.
But
That
so
would
they're
be as fun.
they're doing line dancing at the Washington Grill and Pub. If you're interested in that, that happens this Friday at 9 p.m. Saturday, Izzy's on 3rd, and Boyertown at 1 p.m. is having a toga
I
party.
saw that.
And now, first of all,
Izzy's is having a toga
yeah,
party.
which really, like, I'm surprised that
Washington's is doing line
I know
dancing.
it's crazy, right?
So we're going
Boyertown's
from the Roman
Where are we?
era-
Yeah.
Yeah. We're covering a
We're
lot of
covering a
genres
lot of
there.
stuff going on here. But yeah, toga party.
Wow.
Yeah, you grab your
Sheet.
your
Your
white
bed
sheet, and
yeah.
tie it
Oh,
around you.
Lord.
Yeah.
I will say this though, if I expected there to be country line dancing anywhere, it would be Bechtelsville.
I agree with that. And I have to say,
Right?
at the Washington Inn.
Yeah.
Not that I don't like the Washington Inn. I've
Right.
drank there many times.
Right.
But that's where I would expect.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah.
But what really threw me was the toga
Was the
party.
toga party.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and I just feel like a toga party shouldn't start till at least 11 o'clock at night, maybe. That's what I'm thinking.
Jeff's never been to a toga party,
if-
obviously.
Is 1 o'clock a good time for a toga
I don't know.
party?
I was being sarcastic. Like, I feel like that's a good time. Like,
Oh.
the later the better. Like, obviously,
yeah.
like,
I already want to be like 3 sheets.
that's what I mean. That's
To put on my
3
white
sheets?
sheet.
I see what you did there. That's nice. I was
I-
digging around for a 3 sheets.
All right, hey,
for
I
the
got my
reference to-
I got my flip flops already.
You beat
So
me
I'm-
to it.
I got that going on.
I love
Nice.
that.
And then you just need some holly or
The
something.
holly, and you're good to go.
Yeah.
I just think of Animal House.
Yes,
Animal House
exactly.
is the
That's
best.
Of
all that
course.
is in my head
So
right
when's
now.
the toga party, dude?
1 o'clock on Saturday.
Dang,
In
they're
the
starting
afternoon.
In
early.
the afternoon.
They're day drinking.
Day drinking. Because if you're
Well,
togaing, it's going to be some drinking. Drinking.
And where better to do it than Izzy's
Right.
in Boyertown?
And when you get really good and drunk, you come on over to the.
Oh boy, I'll warn the
Museum?
guys.
No, I think you go the other way.
Oh, it
they
should
don't
be the
want
other
a
way.
bunch of drunk people
No,
in
they
here.
don't. They don't.
You
no.
come
Little warning
here.
out for the weekend.
We're not here on the weekend. It's fine. You can do it.
Listen, I'm gonna throw out a challenge.
Let's hear it.
I'm gonna throw out a
That
challenge.
is
Let's hear the
interesting.
challenge.
I'm gonna put down a $25 gift card
Okay.
to Gramia's
Okay.
for anybody that sends us a picture with their toga
Oh, nice challenge.
at
At-
the Boyertown Historic Car Museum.
Nice.
Oh my God!
Yes.
Yes, please, everyone, do this and tag us on Instagram
I'm
and
throwing
Facebook.
that
Okay.
down.
That's a good one.
That is amazing.
First
I'll
one,
back it up.
First one I get. Do you want to do two?
Yeah. let's
First
do
two that we
First
receive.
two.
First two pictures we receive. You got to be in a toga.
Yep.
You got to be at the Historic Vehicle Museum.
For
I
sure.
love that.
We'll throw down some gift certificates.
Oh my
That's
God,
right.
I love
I
that.
better warn
Get
the
her
weekend
done.
Yep.
staff.
And you know what Gramia's has?
Baked oatmeal.
Absolutely.
Gramia's
Absolutely.
is a very nice place to get breakfast.
Yeah.
I do like Gramia's.
Yeah.
We give a lot of Gramia's gift cards
Do you?
away.
I like Gramia's. It's a great
and
place. to
Jill
eat.
Diffendorfer, our assistant, loves.
She can't get enough of that baked apple pie.
So I'm throwing
Or
that
apple,
down.
whatever
I'm
it
throwing
is.
that down. So spread
That's
the word,
awesome.
or do it yourself.
Oh boy.
There's gift certificates on the
Oh
table,
my God, I love
and
this.
that's
On the-
what
yep.
this Saturday.
Yep.
And we
You
need
got-
to see the receipts. You
Yeah,
gotta I want to
yeah.
see some photos here.
Yeah, I'd love to see the
Yeah.
photos.
No,
yeah.
we'll make sure.
Yeah, we'll make
we'll
sure
make
for
sure
sure.
you tagged in them.
Yeah. Yes.
If we get those photos, we'll share them. But
All
this
right.
Saturday, if
Woo.
you're heading to Izzy's for the Togo party, stop by here first. Visit the museum
Yep.
in your toga. Take a picture.
Oh my God,
next
I
to
love this so
any one
much.
of these vehicles.
Yep.
Jeff and I are going to give
Has to
you
be
some
in the
gift
museum,
certificates.
not outside the
yes.
museum.
No.
In the
It's
museum.
In
got
the
to be
museum.
in,
In the
the
You gotta
gallery.
pay it. It's
Yes.
the small
Yes.
admission.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh
You're
my God,
gonna
I
get
love this so much.
a,
This is
ti-
amazing.
a time
Thanks,
and a half back your money.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're going to spend $10 to get into the museum, but I'm going to give you 25.
Right.
That's right. Yes.
Come on.
Come on.
Yes.
Get your sheets out, everyone.
Get your sheets out.
Get your sheets
out.
and the bleach out. We want nice, crisp, clean sheets.
Okay.
All right. I just
So
threw it out.
that's
I
the
threw it
toga
down.
party.
Autumn, let's go. What are you
I'm
doing?
literally thinking,
What
what,
are
am
you
I
doing?
doing?
What are you
Because
doing Saturday?
I really, what if Kendra and I show up at the toga? Do we get the $25 gift certificate?
First two pictures. I didn't say
Hell yeah.
first two pictures.
This is awesome.
First two pictures
That's
we
it, yep.
get.
Oh my God.
You got to post them up to Glocker, Realty, and Insurance.
Yep.
I'll have
All
my
right.
husband Photoshop Kendra and I in our toga in one of the vehicles that we're going to have. You won't be able to tell.
We'll tell the Photoshops.
I love this so much. That's awesome.
All right. So also in the Great Ole Valley,
Ooh.
we have a summertime wine fest. Everybody likes a little bit of wine, right? That's 2 to 8 p.m. on. It just thunder. That. Sorry
Dang,
for the
I
pause
didn't
there.
notice that.
There was a big thunder. I don't know if you
God
can
is
hear it over
speaking
the thing.
to us now.
But yeah, summertime wine
Come to
fest
the
at the
toga
Reading
party.
Motorcycle Club in Ole.
Oh.
And I kind of skipped something. I forgot. We have blacksmithing from 10 to
10 to 2.
2.
You
You're
can
in the
see
carrot
that,
factory.
but when you're
So,
toga.
so you can bring your toga.
Don't get too close.
Don't get too close.
Yeah.
Is key.
Don't want to get soot on that.
So you're getting
toga.
No,
you're
that's-
getting the grand
That's-
tour.
That's the deal.
Yeah.
Come here.
That's a deal of a century.
Do
Curtis
the
is gonna be like,
blacksmith.
what?
You can walk from here right over
You
to
can walk,
Izzy's.
yeah.
You can see
That's
Izzy's
the
from
thing.
here.
Yes. We're
Sure.
that close.
And I think
Yeah.
if you're coming here, you can just park in the parking lot, and then you got
Yes.
access
Yeah.
to both without moving your car.
What?
Which is a benefit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Send us the picture. 25
Come on now.
bucks.
Oh my God, I love this.
Don't be a fool. Okay. Also, Ridgewood Winery and Bechtelsville, also in Bechtelsville, has a backyard concert series that they do over the summer. And they're going to have Jeff Crick Jr., which is an Elvis impersonator.
Yes.
I've seen Jeff Crick. He's awesome. That
Yes.
is
Is he
cool.
really good?
That
Yeah.
is
Is he
actually
good?
really
Yeah.
cool. Yeah.
So that's Saturday night, 5 to 8.
That's
Nice.
neat.
Yeah.
Ooh, I have not been to their Bechtelsville location.
I
Oh,
haven't
it's really-
either, but I'd
it's
like
cool.
to go.
But their
Yeah.
Birdsboro one is
It's
beautiful.
super nice.
Yeah.
And
And they have a lot of plans for it.
It
yeah.
was a residence.
Yeah.
And they bought it from somebody, and they really didn't even have to do much modification to it. The
Yeah.
people, it looks like a restaurant, and you go in there, and they have a wine tasting bar and everything.
But they're redoing the whole bar, the interior, the
Are they?
barn for events. They're doing.
Yes.
They're putting parking in. They have a whole plan that they're
Yeah.
involved in. So.
And if you go to Glocker Realty and Insurance YouTube page, you can see our past episode with
Yeah.
them. I
Tracy?
believe it's up
With Tracy?
with Ridgewood.
Yeah. I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah,
we know
Tracy,
Tracy.
yep,
We
I
know
don't
the lady that
remember
owns
their
it.
names.
Yeah.
The
I'm
owners
sorry.
are super people.
They're really
Yeah.
good
Yeah.
people.
good,
yeah.
good place to patronize.
Is that by Lazy K?
Yes.
It
Yes.
is.
Okay, I know
Yep.
where that is now.
You turn
Okay.
right there and
Okay.
go right at Lazy K.
Okay. That's
Yep,
cool.
Good wine, good time.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then Sunday you can go back to Ridgewood because they're having a music
Well,
bingo
Okay, then.
benefiting the ARL, which is Animal
my arm.
Rescue League of Berks
Of
County.
the puppies.
Yeah,
the
yeah.
kitties.
So they're doing a music bingo.
Dang.
Um,
Got a lot going on this weekend. apparently.
And I don't know exactly what music bingo is. I don't know if you have ever done music bingo.
I don't know either, but I'll be willing to try.
It sounds like something Kendra would be really good at because she's good at music trivia.
Well,
And
that
if it's
depends.
if it's anything like that,
If it was music,
Maybe that's what it is, like trivia or
that's
something
what
like
I mean. Like that's actually
No.
kind of neat.
If Chopper's watching, Chopper, if you're watching, I know that I know Chopper knows.
if it
Does it?
predates my birth, I'd be good at it.
That's what I mean. It probably will. It probably will.
Anything modern, no. I
Yeah.
don't know anything.
Yeah.
That's cool though.
But yeah,
Cool.
that's a few of the many things that are happening
Cool.
this weekend.
Tons to do.
See, look at
And this
this
week.
area. It's like hopping.
It's
Yes.
awesome.
It is.
It's great.
Like what do we say every time? If you don't know, if you say that you have nothing to do,
Yeah.
It's
then
just-
you're not
help
looking.
That's ridiculous.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's so much stuff to do. You can't even if you wanted to do it all, you couldn't.
That's
You
right.
and
just
free,
couldn't.
and free. A lot of times
A
there's
lot
of free
times
stuff.
it's
Yeah.
free. Yep.
Yes.
Or minimal.
Yes.
Yes.
Like the
Very
museum.
minimal.
Yes.
Exactly.
Super cheap to come here. And if you do this Saturday in your toga and send us a picture of it, you're getting $25.
The
Come
first
Please,
two
on.
somebody
people.
do this.
First
You
two
don't know how much
people.
this will entertain Autumn and I. So
Please do this.
do
Yeah.
First
that.
2 people that posted up at Glocker Realty and Insurance Facebook page. That will be the timestamp.
Hashtag
It will be
3 sheets to the
timestamped.
It will
road.
be timestamped. That's right.
I love it so much.
Oh my God.
So
hey,
that's,
listen.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
No, I was
didn't
just
wanna
gonna
cut
say
you off.
that's what we got.
That's what's going
That's
down.
what's going down.
Going down in Boyertown.
Going
the way
Don
to
and
say it.
Boyertown.
Yeah.
Berks County now.
Mhm.
Jeff, where can people find you on social media?
Just Google Jeff at Glocker. It's
And
that
you're
easy.
gonna come up.
And you can see me on Instagram, Facebook. That might be where. No. I can't think of anything else right
YouTube.
now.
You're on YouTube.
I can't think of anything else.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got other things.
They'll find it.
I'm on the World
The
Wide
Glocker website.
Webs. All you have to do is search Matt Green at Glocker Real Estate.
I'm on the World Wide Web.
I am.
That's what
Are you?
WWW
Are you on the
stands
World
for,
Wide
just in
Web?
case you didn't know.
Yeah, I'm on the World Wide Web. I love this so much.
All right.
I haven't
can-
heard that since I was probably 14. When I was waiting for AIM to load
Yes.
in my parents' living room. But anyway. Yes.
MySpace? You got a MySpace?
Am I blushing now? That takes a lot. Yes, I have a MySpace. That's a story for another time.
Okay. I do not have MySpace.
I had a MySpace.
I have Facebook.
I guess I still do. I don't think it's still around anymore. Is
No,
it?
it
MySpace.
still is.
Is it?
It's the.
It's
one,
Tom
I
still
think it-
there. Is
it's
what
one
I
of the
really want
top-
Oh,
to
I'm
know.
still floating
It is
around in there.
now one of the top music sharing sites
Really?
in
MySpace
the
is.
world. Yep.
Really?
Yeah, MySpace for sharing music.
What?
Yep.
Insanity.
Check it out.
I
They
will.
got
I
their own-
literally am going to later. That's
I
amazing.
think they're like number 19
Oh my
on
God.
the list.
Wow.
Top 20 for sharing music. MySpace.
Jeez.
Still there.
I'll have to change my profile picture from like the emo 2002 picture that I
Now
probably
I
have
don't
on
know.
there right
I don't
now.
know about the personal pages, but
That's
the
interesting.
music sharing platform still exists.
Wow. Oh wow, that's
Yeah.
cool.
Wow.
Wow, that's
Anyway.
jeez.
I can
Okay.
be found Matt Green at Glocker Real Estate. If you
Yes.
search that on your Googles,
On
I
your
will
on,
come
the, on the World Wide Web.
on the World
Your
Wide Web,
Googles.
on the wwws.
Webs.
You'll find Matt Green at Glocker Real Estate and everything that I'm doing and all the content that I'm creating.
Lots of good
Tomorrow.
stuff.
Yes, content.
I'm trying to think if I have any listings that are coming up that people can grab onto.
You got anything good?
No, down the pike. 2 weeks from now.
I have a couple things coming down the pike.
Yeah.
We'll talk about them shortly.
Yeah.
The one thing I do have coming down the pike tomorrow at 6 o'clock, Thursdays at
Yes.
6, Porchcast Pottstown.
After your summer hiatus.
After the summer hiatus,
Ooh.
Porchcast Pottstown is coming
You know,
back to the airwaves.
You know what? Last week, I'm going to tell you this. Last week, I think it was, or maybe last week, it popped up, Porchcast Pottstown, and I'm like, what? I pushed to join in, and sure enough, your face was there, and Amy's face was there.
We went live. That was our planning session
Yeah.
at Pub, Pottstown United Brewing
But you only
Company.
went live for like
Awesome.
3 seconds,
Yeah,
right?
just to let people know that we were going to be coming back.
Yeah.
Cool.
Tomorrow, we're back on the airways. We have a new time, 6 o'clock on Thursdays. You can find us, Matt Green at Glocker Real Estate on Facebook, Porchcast Pottstown on YouTube. We're going to be at Pottstown United Brewing Company.
Awesome.
It's good beer there.
Good way to start it off.
Really good beer.
Like the beer there, like the poutine. Have the poutine recently. Like,
Yes.
It's a very nice place to
The
go.
food there is unbelievable.
It's very good.
Yeah, it's really good. Adam Burke is the owner. He's the head chef. He does a
Oh.
great job with the food.
Is United the one
Really
that
nice
has a
place to go.
small?
It's the small,
small one, right?
Yep.
Okay. I have
Right
not
there
been
in the
yet.
200 block of High
The
Street.
alley on High is cool too. I like to go there as well.
Yep. Have you been to the Iron Gate Beer Garden?
No.
It's like right next door to the alley.
Oh, that's cool.
And then
wow.
right across the street from Iron Gate Beer Garden is Pottstown United Brewing Company.
Yes. I've been there. I liked it a lot. It was very nice.
And you should probably go to the very best,
oh,
the 1921 hot
Hello.
dog
Yeah.
place. Yeah.
if you haven't had a hot dog from, do they still do that? Is that like still?
It's still a thing.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Special sauce and everything.
Hot
Oh,
dogs.
special sauce. Is it Thousand Island dressing?
No, it's like chili.
No, that's
Okay.
here.
Like
you
a
can get
chili
that at the
sauce.
Boyertown Inn, right up near the Thousand Island dressing.
Nice.
That's actually not a lie. They actually make.
That's
They
true.
actually do make Thousand
true.
Island dressing at the Boyertown Inn. Did you know that?
No.
So like growing
For
up,
McDonald's?
like if you but like growing up, did you ever see those bottles around with like, and it just said like Thousand Island dressing Boyertown?
No.
Literally right there at the Boyertown Inn. I know you
Yeah.
know what the Boyertown Inn
Yes,
is.
yes, sure.
That's where they made that Thousand Island dressing.
And they still make it today.
I don't know.
I hope not.
I know.
I mean,
Somebody
I shouldn't
needs
say
to
that
go
out
on the interwebs and figure it out.
I will go on the World
www.
Wide Web later.
Yes.
And I'll look
figure
into
it
this.
out. Yeah.
you don't have to spell it out. You can just do www.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes.
Yes. Or in
Yes.
2021, you just type in www, or you just Google the general
Yeah.
subject. You don't need to go on the World
It'll
Wide
pop
Web.
right up.
Okay, now we're just.
We're just talking.
we're
Listen,
just talking now.
we're at the Boyertown Museum of Historic Vehicles, 85 South Walnut Street
Yes.
in the lovely borough of Boyertown,
Yes.
19512.
That's right.
Head on
1951.
over. They got a lot of
Yes.
cool stuff. They got a lot of cool vehicles. Learn about history. You get a great perspective of history, which we talked about earlier. And there's plenty to see and do. Check them out. This has been the cast at Glocker. We are on the interwebs every Wednesday at 6-ish. 6-ish.
6-ish, yep. But this time it was like 6.
On the
Next
money.
Wednesday, we'll
Could
be
be anything.
on again at 6-ish. Please tune in.
Thank you, Kendra. Thank you, Autumn.
Thank
We had
you,
a
Oh my
great
gosh.
time.
guys.
Thank you.
Thank you guys. It was fun again.
Thanks. It's always a good time. We will talk to everybody soon. This has been the cast at Glocker. Thanks for tuning in.